Let's talk about the parts of a handgun. First of all, there are two different kinds of handguns, and you can see them here. I've got a revolver, I've got a semi-automatic. Let's talk about the revolver first. Now, in handguns, there are three main parts. There's the frame, the action, and the barrel. And they're different on each of the guns, but the same basic three parts. So on a revolver, the frame is basically the backbone to which all of the other parts are attached. So I've got the frame here. It includes the trigger guard, includes the grips and the grip panels. Okay, that's all part of the frame. The action includes the cylinder, the hammer with the hammer spur, and the trigger group. Both of these handguns have been safety checked and are empty. And then the barrel is the part of the handgun through which the projectile flies and leaves. So as part of the barrel, you can see attached to the barrel is the front sight. In this case, it's a blade sight. That's part of the barrel there. So those are the basic parts of a handgun. There's also right here on this particular revolver, there's a loading gate for loading and unloading. And then there's a plunger right here when you can eject the spent casing by depressing this plunger right here. And that will help you to eject the spent casing. So those are the basic parts of a revolver. Now, there are two kinds of revolvers. There's a single action revolver and a double action revolver. And that refers to the action of the trigger. What actions does the trigger perform? In a single action firearm like this one, the trigger performs a single action. All it does is release the hammer. So in a single action revolver, the hammer must be manually cocked, and then the trigger performs the action of releasing the hammer. In a double action revolver, the trigger performs two actions. It cocks the hammer and releases the hammer. So with a double action revolver, you can just manipulate the trigger, keep pulling, and each time you pull the trigger, it will rotate the cylinder, cock the hammer, and release the hammer and fire. Pull the trigger again, it'll rotate the cylinder, cock the hammer, release the hammer and fire. With a single action, I can pull the trigger all day, nothing happens. Unless I manually cock. Now notice, watch when I manually cock, it'll rotate the cylinder, putting the next round ready to be struck with the firing pin. But in this position, with the hammer cocked, now the trigger can perform its single action of releasing the hammer. So, and it will fire. That's the revolver. Semi-automatic handguns, again, we have three main parts. We've got the frame, the action, and the barrel. The frame includes the grip, including what's called the back strap. A lot of semi-automatic handguns have a adjustable back strap, or you can replace them. So you've got the grip here. The trigger guard is part of the frame. Many semi-automatic firearms have, as part of the frame, they have an accessory rail where you can attach a light or a laser, that kind of thing. That's all part of the frame. Here attached to the frame is the magazine release. When you depress the magazine release, it ejects the magazine. The magazine is where you load the ammunition, the rounds of ammunition, and you load those up, insert the magazine. The action includes the trigger and the semi-automatic the slide, and you've also got a slide stop, and you've got many of these have a manual safety, many of them do not, but manual safety, part of the action. The action is basically the parts of the gun that make it fire. So the frame is kind of the backbone that holds it all together, attaches all the pieces. The action is what allows the gun to load a round, fire the round, and eject the round. And so for a semi-automatic, you've got what's called the slide. This is the slide. There's an ejector that grabs the empty shell, ejects it, and then as the slide is activated, it will grab the next round and insert it into the chamber, which, as you can see, is part of the barrel. And then you've got the barrel here, which is the part through which the bullet travels and leaves the end of the gun. That's the barrel. So those are the three main parts of a handgun: the frame, the action, and the barrel.